Hey guys, Dr. Kresimir here, chiropractor from London, Ontario, Canada. On today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to diagnose and help your sciatic pain. But before we get to that, please like, share, and subscribe. There's a lot of people that are broken out there. I would just love the opportunity to give them some helpful information so they can feel a little bit better. So if you know somebody, please share it with them. I believe it can help. Forgive me, there's going to be not lengthy, I'll try to keep it as short as possible, but the more you learn about something, the better you understand it, and the better you're able to help yourself. One of the issues, and trust me, I have lots of issues, you can just ask my wife about that, but one of the issues I have with diagnoses is it's ineffective in telling you what to do, right? And sciatica is one of those things. So when people say sciatica, or when there's a diagnosis of sciatica, what that typically means is there's some type of back pain and some type of radiating or referring pain going down the back of your leg. The trouble with that is knowing that, which by the way, knowing stuff is excellent. The more you know, the better. So it's not that knowing that you have sciatica or concluding that you have sciatica is a problem. It's now that you have it, what are you supposed to do? Because to keep the anatomy lesson super short, this is looking at the lower spine. And so the sciatic nerve is made from these nerves here, and then they come together and they pass through the sacral notch and they go all the way down. So, problems with your discs can cause sciatica. Problems with the joints back here can cause sciatica. Problems with the canal itself can cause sciatica. Problems with the piriformis muscle, the hamstring, the knee. These joints back here being shifted or misaligned can cause these symptoms. The point is, it's complicated. And if you don't know what to do or how to better narrow down where the affected tissues are coming from, you're not going to have an action plan. You're not going to know what to do. You're not going to know what to avoid. And that's just going to leave you in the dark. So the purpose for this video, I hope that made sense, by the way. I had to do like 10 takes because I was talking for like 10 minutes. It was brutal. But the purpose of this video is to examine, or to help you examine, the lower spine, right? So I want to know, today I'm gonna try to show you if the sciatica is coming from problems with these joints back here or problems with the discs at the front, okay? So you're gonna need a couple of things. First thing we're gonna start with is a stool. So I want you can do everything I'm gonna show you standing up. I cannot stand in the phone because I will disappear. But you want to sit on the stool with relaxed posture. And the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to arch your lower back like this. And then I want you to slouch forward like this. So when you arch like this, what we're doing is we're compressing the back part of your spine and we're opening up the front part of your spine. And if this makes your symptoms worse, then chances are, so you're extension intolerant. That means you don't want to get in these positions where you go into extension. And we're starting to think, we're building the case for the back of the spine or the facets joints being at least partially responsible for what's happening. If you slouch forward like this and this makes things worse, now you're flexion intolerant. And we're starting to think that the discs might be a part of the story with the sciatica. And if neither of this does anything, then chances are it might not, again, these are just stories. I can't be conclusive at this point. This is only one functional test, but chances are it might not be coming from your spine at all. And if everything is sore, if it's just painful, typically what that means is there's so much inflammation that you can't move at all. So if we're getting a reading this way, the next thing that we want to do is we want to grab the bottom of the stool. So I want to pretend like I'm pulling the stool up into myself. So I'm adding a compressive load into my spine. And then what I want to do is I want to repeat the same things. And if that makes the pain worse, now what we're learning is that there is a compression intolerance, right? It means that your spine can't handle the load. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, what does that mean? And if you're compression intolerant, then things like training or weight training for the time being might have to be out, especially if you have a barbell on your back, or if you spend time, you know, carrying children or carrying things. You might have to find alternative ways to do those things without you having to lift, because obviously your spine and the integrity of your spine is compromised in this case. Like I said, you can do everything standing up, right? So you can do extension, you know, flexion, and the way that you would do the compression is you would hold something heavy like a kettlebell or a can of paint, and you would hold it away from your body like this, and then you would see what that does. Now, the good news is, if one of those positions causes you more pain, then typically and hopefully the opposite position, unless everything causes you pain, right? If everything causes you pain, then you are having, like I said, more than likely you're having an acute inflammatory response. That's just a really challenging position to be in. And you know, try your best to find something that helps you relieve the pain. But if you're finding, you know, extension intolerance or flexion intolerance, then typically the opposite position is going to be helpful. So for me, I've injured my spine many, many, many times in the past. I know that I am extension intolerant, so I don't do well in extension. So when my spine acts up, which it does, what I do is I'm flexion intolerant, but when my spine acts up, I go into extension, right? So after, you know, a busy day of working, bending over or sitting, which is really challenging for me, I find this position, and then I let my low back melt into the ground, and it takes the pressure off of the inflamed tissues. If I am flexion or extension intolerant, then I want to find flexion. You know, laying on your ground, bending your knees up, helps my spine go into flexion. Even if I have like something to support myself, a pillow puts my spine into more flexion. The goal is to spend more and more time in those positions to take the pressure off of your spine and help your body heal. So here's what I need you to do. If I am totally out to lunch with this line of video, or if you know, for the 3 of you that make it to the end of these videos, at least leave me a comment and let me know this is helpful, because I can create more stuff. There's a lot, this is a massive conversation. There's a lot more things to be said. Yeah, and if it wasn't, then just let me know. You know, we're trying something different. I want you to understand how your body works and get out of more pain. If there's any other comments or questions, leave them below. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.